They do.
All right. If we are all ready, we will get moving. Do we have a motion concerning our closed session?
I guess this is my mic. I move the school board recess the closed session at this time and go into the open session for the business of the open session agenda and resume the closed session business following the conclusion of the open session agenda.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor signify down the line by aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we are now back in open session. Do we have any motions in regards to the agenda?
I move to amend the agenda to add the additional closed session.
All right, we have a motion to amend the agenda. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? We'll take a vote on that, moving down the line.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And aye. All right, the agenda is amended. We will start with item 1.2, personnel recommendations. Do we have a motion concerning the personnel recommendations from closed session?
Make a motion that we approve the personnel agenda as it was presented with the one correction to line item 15 to extend the contract date through 6/2020.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? We will take the vote, moving down the line.
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. The motion carries. Next up is non-resident enrollment. We have two. We will have (2019) 5 and 2019 6. Do we have a motion in regards to the non-resident enrollment applications?
I make a motion that we approve the non-resident enrollment applications number 2019-5 and 2019-6.
I second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion?
What tab is that?
It is 2.
I'm looking for it. I don't see anything. Mine is blank. Mine is blank, and I hate to abstain, but I need to see it.
Just 1 second.
Okay.
All right. All right, we will move down the line with the vote on that as well.
Aye.
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 And aye. That motion carries. Since I have gotten out of order, and I apologize for that, we will go back to 2.6, to the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I apologize for getting us out of order there. So we will proceed now. We have amended the agenda. With the amendment to the agenda, do we have a motion to approve the agenda with the amendment?
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as amended.
Any second?
I second.
All right. All those in favor moving down the line signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. Agenda is approved. Roll call, Ms. Moore.
Present.
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 Present. Present.
Present.
All right, next up, 2.9 citizens' time. Ms. Moore, do we have anyone signed up? We have no one signed up for citizens' time. So we will move on to consent agenda. Action item 3.1. We have lots and lots of minutes to approve. So we will begin with the February 7th, 2019 minutes. Take a minute to take a look at those. Do we have any questions in regards to the minutes from February 7th? All right, do we have a motion in regards to the meeting minutes from February 7th, 2019?
I motion to approve the school board work session minutes for Thursday, February 7th, 2019.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All those in favor signify by aye, moving down the line.
Aye.
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 Abstain.
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to Wednesday, March 6th meeting minutes.
I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes for the school board work session on March 6, 2019.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Having a motion and having a second, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying, and nays have the same opportunity, moving down the line.
Aye.
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 And aye. Next up is the April 4th minutes.
Make a motion that we approve the school board work session minutes from April 4th, 2019.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye, and nays have the same opportunity.
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Aye.
Aye.
And aye. Next up is April 17th minutes.
I motion to approve the school board meeting minutes for Wednesday, April 17th, 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Nays have the same opportunity.
Aye.
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 Abstain.
Aye.
And aye. Next up is the May the 16th, 2019 minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the school board meeting minutes for Thursday, May 16th, 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye, and nays have the same opportunity.
Aye.
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 And aye. Next up is May 29th meeting minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the school board called meeting for Wednesday, May 29th, 2019.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Nays have the same opportunity.
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye.
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 And aye. Next up is the June 20th, 2019 minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for the school board meeting on June 20th, 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye, and nays have the same opportunity.
Aye.
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 Abstain.
Aye.
And I abstain as well. All right, moving on. Next up, July 18th, 2019.
Make a motion that we approve the school board meeting minutes for Thursday, July 18th, 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Nays have the same opportunity.
Aye.
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 And aye. Next up, and our last set of minutes is from August 1st, 2019 work session.
I motion to approve the school board work session minutes Thursday, August 1st, 2019.
We have a first. Do we have a second?
Oh, second. Sorry.
We have a first and we have a second. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye, and the nays have the same opportunity.
Aye.
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 Abstain.
Abstain.
And aye. All right. Next up will be the superintendent's report. I will turn the floor over to Dr. Sterling to continue with that.
Excellent, I appreciate it. Thank you. Madam Chair, board members, the report of the superintendent is as follows for August 15. First, we have the division financial report. Ms. Pamela Kendra is not with us this evening. She is completing the audit reports checklist. I'm submitting that to you for your review. Next, we will move on to curriculum and instruction. We will have a report from the exceptional education department, and that will be Ms. Norletta Edmonds. She will discuss she will advise the board of the coordinated early intervening services update.
Good evening, Ms. Phillips, School Board Chair, Dr. Hall Leonard, Vice Chair, School Board members, Dr. Sterling, good evening again. I'm coming before you this afternoon or this evening to give you another update on the comprehensive early intervening services grant that has been submitted. Again, it has been submitted for approval. I can report tonight that it is one step closer. It has been opened, but we still have not received final approval, which I expect to have very, very shortly. At that point, the position that you approved earlier for the behavioral specialist will be posted, and we will actively search and seek out someone to fill that position to address the areas of concern that were identified through the CEIS survey. Okay, you have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Excuse me, Madam Chairman, may we go back to the Finance Department audit reports? We went through that pretty quickly.
Sure.
And for transparency in the public, by the time I think Ms. Moore got that, or whoever's doing the technology, that screen up, we didn't hear any of this. Page 1 of 1.
Right there.
I believe Dr. Sterling said she was presenting this on behalf of our finance director.
Correct, for your review.
Am I correct, Dr. Sterling, in looking at this, and these are items that are part of that audit process that are going to be included in who is responsible for each of those areas?
Yes, it
as part of
is.
the audit?
Yes, it is. It's the audit report checklist.
Does anyone have any questions in regards to this?
Can I proceed?
Please.
Excellent. Next, we're going to have a presentation for our preliminary data for Franklin City Public Schools. First, we will have Principal Dexter Warren. He will be presenting his data for SP Morton Elementary School.
Good evening,
Good
Mrs.
evening.
Phelps, Dr. Hall Leonard, School Board, Dr. Sterling, the team of Franklin City Public Schools. Before we get started, I want to thank Mrs. Williams for coming for Stuff the Bus and your team, the Zetas for helping out and also donating to the school. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to start off with the data. Here you see the yellow, green, and a little bit of red. So I can just explain some of that to you. In 2018-19, we had 67% for reading, 77% for math, and 45% for science. But the science is low because going back on the standards, we need to really push those fourth grade standards. They don't take science, SOLs, into the fifth grade. So when you go to the fifth grade, you got to remember you got to do the fifth grade SOLs, and then you got to go back and do the fourth grade. So we redid the master schedule, so now we have a science teacher for third, fourth, and fifth grade. So moving forward, the SOLs will all be hit, and the teacher have to review in the fifth grade and continue moving forward with the fifth grade SOLs. Also, I want to report the chronic absenteeism. We went from 18.98 this year, and the year before was 22.67. So it's a shrink. More kids start coming in. We had Ms. Zerflu come in and partner with us too as well, meeting kids at the door, letting parents know class started at 7:45, and we continue to push our education so that babies can be in a school right at the start at 7:45. Do you have any questions for me? Thank you.
I'd just like to say congratulations to you.
Thank you
Your
again.
promotion as principal.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Next, we'll have preliminary SOL data from Joseph P. King Jr. Middle School, presented by Principal Darren Parker.
Good evening. Good evening, Chair, Madam Chair, Ms. Phillips, Madam Vice Chair, Dr. Hall Leonard, the rest of the school board members, Dr. Sterling, again, congratulations, and also to Mr. Williams, our city attorney, Good evening to you and to the rest of the team here at JPK, the whole team here. I will be reporting out on our preliminary data, but we do know our data is final. We're in all green, and this time we're going to give you a couple of numbers comparing the 2 years, and I promise Ms. Moore I'll keep it up under 3 minutes. But I just want to give you some numbers so you can connect the colors with numbers as well. I'm going to do a comparison. 2017 in math, we were 74%. In 2018-19, we're 87%, which is a plus 13 percentage points gains for this year. In reading, we were 76%. This year, we were 86% with strictly reading this year. So that's a 10% gain. With reading and writing is combined. Last year in writing, the writing test, which we take in March, we were 59%. This year we were 65%, which is a 6 percentage point gain. Overall last year we were 76% in reading and writing combined. This year we were 82%, which is a plus 6 gain this year. In civics, we were 96 last year. On the SOL this year we were 95, which is a -1, but I'm sure Ms. Lauren Lee will get that percentage point back up there to 96, 97%. In science, which is one of our focus points, we were 71% last year. Passing is 70%, and we're teetering on that 69, 70, 70. So this year we were 69%, but with the 3-year average, we're 70%, so we're accredited in science as well. But that's a focus point for us this year, along with our writing. Writing, we want to get our writing up to 75%. With our writing, I have a reading specialist here, Ms. Cox. She is working very diligently this year in bringing in new programs and working close with our kids as well in writing. So our goal, as a percentage point, when you do the average, we're a plus 4% gain for this year from last year. So we're excited about that. If you want to talk about SPED, because in the green, it talks about SPED as well. In SPED in reading, our average, we're 75% this year in reading. SPED in math, we're 85% this year. So as you can see, we focus on all of our students, because all of our babies mean everything to us. And the thing that we're focused on right now, yes, we're 85%, yes, we're in the 80s, but with the 85%, we're focused on those 15%. That means 15% of our students didn't pass. So we're going to see what we can do to boost that back up into the 90s. Our next goal is a blue ribbon school. That's our next goal. We're not just saying it, we're putting the work in, and we're going to make sure it happens. So we're very excited about the upcoming year. We appreciate all the support, from our superintendent, and congratulations to the other 2 schools, to Mr. Phelps at the high school, and also to Mr. Warren at the elementary school, and just thank you for the support. Any questions for me?
I have a comment.
Yes.
You know that I bleed blue and gold.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but I have to say that when the blue and the yellow come together, and I noticed that y'all are wearing green tonight, it looks really nice. So,
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Thank you again, Ms. Johnson.
Well, I just want you to, again, congratulations. But if I can have Ms. Cox come up and talk about how she's supporting the learning at SP Morton.
Sure.
Because we know that it takes a team effort in all 3 of our schools to calibrate to get towards that blue ribbon status. Oh, don't go anywhere. You can stand up to support the team.
Good evening. So this year I have been tasked with going over to SP Morton to assist with Mr. Geary and the reading team 3 through 5, which is new for me. I'm very, very excited. Mr. Geary and I have worked closely this summer in looking at the existing curriculum because SP Morton has made gains in reading, and so we're looking at what's working and what can we do to move our kids forward. So we are making sure that we're focusing on alignment to the curriculum framework, alignment to the standards, and making sure that what is taught is what is tested, and what is tested is aligned to the state standards. Everything is, if we get everything in alignment, then there's no reason that we can't have all green at SP Morton next year too. So we're very, very excited. We're also pushing writing there as well to make sure that we get that consistency from grades 3 through 8. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions for JPK?
No, we're good.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. Next, we'll have preliminary SOL data from Franklin High School from from Principal Travis Phelps.
Good evening, everyone. I won't call you out by name. Good evening. Franklin High School, the main thing that I didn't say last time we went over this data is the very bottom line where it says accredited. Everything else I'll talk about, but that's the main thing that we're relieved and happy about. But it's a lot that goes into that little word there, accredited. So let's get started, and I'll be brief. English, 94%. So very proud of our English numbers compared to last year. That was 87%. So that's a 7-point gain over last year. And all of our subgroups in English are also in green. So we made level 1 for overall and for each subgroup for English. So great job to our English team and everyone who supported them. Math, that is our challenge. We're working hard at it every day. But math, we're at 63%. Last time I reported the numbers to you a couple weeks ago, it said 61. But since then, the data refreshes like every Friday, and we're up to 63 for a variety of reasons in math, but we're not up as high as we need to be. So therefore, we're in yellow for math, which is level 2. And we're in red as far as the achievement gaps because our subgroups, Black students and also students with disabilities, are level 3. And our economically disadvantaged students are our gap group. So when you have more than one gap group, you are overall level 3 for the achievement gap. So math is what we're really focusing on at Franklin High School for next school year, along with CTE, which is not really part of our data this time, but it will be in 2020-21. That'll be a part of the accreditation for high schools also. Science, back to something a little bit more positive than math. Science, we ended up at 79%. Which was a slight decrease from last year, 2017-18, we were 80%. But we're still solid with science at 79%. Something we are very proud of is our chronic absenteeism. We went from 31% in 2017-18, 31% of our students had 10% more or more absences. This year, last year, we might as well say now because we're starting a new year. Last year, we reduced that to 18%. So we ended up in green because we reduced the absenteeism rate by more than 10%. We still want to get to less than 15% and not make it on the R10. But we made big gains in our absenteeism or lack of absenteeism. Graduation and completion index, which is the big one for high schools, 97%. Very proud of that. Everyone in the cohort graduated except, and I hate to say except because if you're one of those 2 excepts, those parents don't really care if it's 97% if you're the parent of one of those 2. One of them we're still hoping to graduate, still waiting on her to take that last industry test. Every time we feel like she's ready to take it, she gets cold feet and wants to put it off a couple of days. So we're still waiting on one student, and then we did have one dropout. But everybody else graduated, so we're at 97%. Dropout rate, 1.3%. I'll put that up against any high school's dropout rate in the state. I wish it was 0. But 1.3% is pretty good. Yeah. So we're green in everything except for math. And I didn't realize I was wearing a green shirt today also. But I got some stripes in my green. So we need to be solid green. We need to be solid green next year.
It's okay. It's all right.
Any questions for me?
Yes, I do. You had an amazing drop in your chronic absenteeism, and I was wondering if there was anything in particular that you thought you might be able to attribute that to.
It's a lot of things that go into that. We want to thank Mr. Lowe. He stays on top of our attendance and has those attendance meetings with parents. Ms. Gastingway, who you might not expect as our ISS coordinator, has a lot to do with it because she puts the letters together and makes a little list for Mr. Lowe. So when he comes over on Thursdays and Fridays, he doesn't have to waste a lot of time going through the attendance report because she's kind of already disaggregated it for him while she's doing her job and in school suspension. Also, our teachers, the more you engage your students and the more you make them want to come to school, the more they come to school. So I think they deserve some credit. Our parents, our automatic calls that go home when students are marked absent, that helped a lot this year. We had weekly meetings on attendance and all kinds of. Ms. Massenberg is very, I hate to start calling names, I'll forget someone, but Ms. Massenberg was very involved in being on top of it. But we still have room to grow because we have 18% that are still chronically absent.
Right, but I just didn't know if there's anything different that you all implemented this year to try to bring that number down that may have, made that difference.
I just think we monitored it a lot better or more heavily than we did 2 years ago. We stayed on top of it. We didn't let it get out of hand before we started having meetings. It was something we started from the very first week of school.
It worked. Thank you. And tell those other people thank you because that's great.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Appreciate your support.
Definite round of applause. Thank you so much. Next, we have the professional development calendar. This week was our new teacher week. Our division professional development calendar was submitted. School-based professional development, department PLCs, and mandatory meetings. And we will be looking at those meetings. The focus is data based on gap groups so we can close the gap. You have the focus of each school from their preliminary data. SP Morton Elementary School, professional development focus. Areas of focus, science, English, special education, and economically disadvantaged. So all of the school improvement plans that will be submitted to me and will be submitted also to the board will focus on these topics. Our pass rate, we definitely are looking to improve in science this year and incorporate continued use of Jason's learning, STEM activities, science labs for project-based learning, and hands-on activities to support the revisions of science curriculum framework. We're very pleased that science will be pushed down from K through 5th grade at SP Morton. And English pass rate, also 67%. We're looking to push that this year, working and aligning the curriculum with J.P. King, moving downwards and actually having the coach support analyzing the data. They're also going to implement a novel-based curriculum, which is a little bit more rigorous than just the standard curriculum that they have been used to. So we're also excited about that. And we're also putting in mandatory writing, bi-weekly writings for our students, for that critical thinking and that writing element. So we're very entrenched in making certain that we achieve more than I know that we're going to set out to achieve. So the goal is 75, and our goal internally is 85%, because all of our schools have the potential to become blue ribbon schools, and it's just astonishing that we're all working together. We're excited to work together to make certain that all of these areas of improvement, we're moving in the same direction together. One of the things I want to articulate to the board and to our community, no one school is working in isolation, and that is amazing. You have the middle school going to the elementary, you have the elementary going to the middle, you have the middle with Ms. Bland going to the high school. Everyone is working in lockstep. So that's their focus. J.P. King area of focus, writing 81%. They want to develop a writing plan, actually expand their writing plan to add grammar instruction and more opportunities for authentic writing experiences. And science, pass rate currently 70%. Revise the curriculum to reflect new standards and integration of 6th through 8th grade standards in physical science. FHS areas of focus, math, both overall achievements and achievement gaps. All students pass rate 61% for 18-19, but the 3-year average at 66. All students are level 2, and the yellow achievement gap is 3. Continued professional development will support moving that gap, to closing that gap with the math and exceptional education team focusing on each math achievement gap group and overall math achievement. Alignment, always focused on alignment. The alignment of the written, taught, and assessed curriculum. Weekly PLCs will continue to be implemented. Weekly PLCs with the math team and the exceptional education team to ensure lesson plans and delivery are aligned to the mathematics SOLs. And 3 times per year, FHS math team will conduct professional development with the math team at J.P. King. New teacher mentor collaboration. I do apologize. I'm keep rolling on. That concludes the focus for the SOLs, and our school improvement plans for the 19-20 school year. Are there any questions? All right, thank you. We're going to move on to our new teacher mentor collaboration with Paul D. Camp for the 19-20 school year. We're excited to announce this partnership that we have with Paul D. Camp. All first year and possibly second year teachers will take a class facilitated by Ms. Breckhalter, our Director of Instruction. She will be the adjunct professor for Paul D. Camp Community College for 1 or 2 college credits as part of a new teacher retention initiative. Memorandum of Understanding, prices, coursework, and schedules are still being finalized. The goal is to move from a new teacher program to a new teacher academy with Paul D. Camp. Ms. Burkhalter attended a meeting with Dr. Atkins Brady and has been in weekly communication with Paul D. Camp throughout the month to get this finalized. So we're always excited to have new partnerships, new programs, and this is one we want to continue to strengthen our partnership with Paul D. Camp. Are there any questions? All right. And also, I'm excited to say that we did finalize the dual enrollment with Paul D. Camp today as well. So we will be focusing on history, welding, what were some of the other 2 that I signed up?
Calculus, pre-calculus.
Calculus, pre-calculus. Now, we're constantly expanding our partnership, but our students are excited to begin the year with dual enrollment with Paul D. Camp.
Thank you. I'd just like to add, thank you for continuing to work with our local community community college to pursue, sorry, got work on the brain. To pursue extending those opportunities that we have for our students here in our community.
Absolutely. We're very proud of working with Paul D. Camp. It's a fine institution, and trust me, we will continue to make certain that we keep adding to the program with them.
And I just want to put a plug out there that we, the community college is branding. And so legally, it will always remain Paul D. Camp, but now it's Camp Community.
It's Camp Community, that's
So we
right.
kind of want to get
That's
on
right.
board and begin to say Camp Community, embrace the new branding.
It's a beautiful sign, that's right. All right. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to Human Resource and Administrative Services. We have the Emergency Response Plan for 1920. This is what we submit every year. Names have been changed and updated to our current principals, grades, our appendices, our Appendix A, Franklin High School, their crisis intervention team for J.P. King and S.P. Morton. And that plan will need approval by the board.
We'll take just a second to take a look at that.
Absolutely, take your time.
Did we have a motion in regards to the 2019-2020 Franklin City Public Schools Emergency Plan?
I move to approve the Franklin City Public Schools 2019-2020 emergency plan as presented.
I second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Nays have the same opportunity.
Aye.
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 And aye. Okay.
Excellent, thank you so much. I want to make certain that we have that information updated for all schools. Last but not least, report to the superintendent. Almost last but not least, I want to report about the Vanguard Early College Academy that will be taking place at Franklin High School. Currently, we have 15 students that have been accepted to the academy. At this time, we have 8 students that have secured their spots. We're very pleased about that. 2 students have secured their spots with benefactors, and we're just waiting for 3 other students to secure their spots. So at this time, we will have a full cohort of 15 students ready to move forward and enter into their first year for the pre-engineering program at Franklin High School. Are there any questions?
No, Dr. Sterling, but could we also, and you don't have to provide that
Sure.
this evening, but also get an update for dual enrollment with Camp Community as well? Just like you've given us the breakdown here for Vanguard, if you could also bring that information back to us for Camp Community.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Camp Community. Next, you have the Franklin City Public Schools Family Back to School Party. Join us for one last party before we return to school in September. You have the flyer. This is a combined party with SP Morton, JP King, and FHS. It will take place August 21st from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Armory Field in Franklin, Virginia. Food, games, community, and school resources. We hope to see you there. This flyer has been sent out to our school community. We're posting it around town. There are several other events that are going on in the community as well, but we are looking for a huge showing because we used to do this individually at each school, but now we wanted to make certain that it was a combined effort. And I think on record at this time, we have 20 partners that will be with us at the Community Back to School Bash. We will be giving out school supplies. We have our bouncy houses. We have food and carbonated soda to drink. Just wanted to be specific. So we're really excited about that.
And Dr. Sterling, just for the public's knowledge, in the event that there is inclement weather, do we have a backup plan in place?
Inclement weather, no, we do not.
Okay.
But thank you for putting that out there. So we may have to move on those plans to see where we can move that to.
Okay.
Appreciate that. The closest school is J.P. King. Hi, Mr. Parker. Look at that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. Anything else, Dr. Sterling?
Thank you, board members. That concludes the report of the superintendent.
All right, moving next down our agenda, business by school board members. Before we look at dates, let's go ahead and we'll move through that. This coming Monday is first day back to school for all of our teachers. Yay, I know you're so excited to get back. We're excited to have you back.
Yes.
The family back to school party, Dr. Sterling just discussed that. Next Friday, the 23rd, is convocation. I look forward to seeing all of you at Franklin High School. On Monday, we will be closed for Labor Day, so everyone can get to bed early for the next day, for the first day of school. Our next board work session will be on September 5th. On Tuesday, September 17th, we will have early closing for professional development. And then our next board work session will be on Thursday, September 9th. Our next regular meeting will be on Thursday, September 19th. All right, moving on next to business by school board members. It looks like we have a few things to be shared by our fellow board members. So I will yield the floor to my fellow board members if there's anything that they would like to share.
The first two.
Well, I would like to start off by saying that I attended the Stuff the Bus event, and I thought it was very awesome. I got to meet some of our Opportunity Inc. students and take pictures with them and just talk to them, and they were very energetic. and enthusiastic about getting school items collected. And I think Ms. Moore said that we superseded last year in the amount of items received. So we're thankful to the public who gave. Also, I'm elated to announce about the historical marker ceremony in honor of Ms. Della Hayden, which will be taking place on August 24th at the Apostolic Faith Church of God on Oak Street here in Franklin. I'm excited. There's also a cookout at 3:00 p.m. downtown Franklin at Bears Landing, where the class of 1969 will be celebrating their 50th class reunion. But the marker will be unveiled to the public for the very first time that morning. So I hope that the community would just come out and support this great event in honor of her memory.
Thank you. Is there anything else that our fellow board members would like to share?
Yes, we've had a great discussion this evening, and you've informed, Dr. Sterling and her staff has informed us in reference to partnerships with Camp Community, and we are excited about that. And so we have also included some information that hopefully can be shared with our high school. Mr. Phelps may already have this information, I'm not sure, but Paul D. Camp Community has the Great Expectations Fostering Powerful Change for Students, also the Chancellor's College Success Coach Initiative program. It's called STEPS. That's available to students as well. And so if that information is not already in the hands of our students, we would like to make sure that our students are aware that they could either participate in dual enrollment, or for those families who don't want to participate in dual enrollment, students can also always take college courses at the community college. So we included that information as well. Also, I asked Mrs. Moore to include several flyers. This coming Saturday, the Empowerment and Uplifting Foundation will present the 3rd Annual Community Back to School Bash, Saturday, August 17th, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., and that will be at the College Drive Playground. The information is provided for you here. Please share this with members of our community. They already have a lot of backpacks, school supplies. They will have food available to the community. When the students show up, they will be able to take those backpacks with them on site, and they will have food as well. In reference to partnering, they have asked that we share the information, and hopefully next year the information will get in the school division's hand in time enough that we can partner. Let's see, and some of us may be familiar with the organization through GYG. I believe you're familiar, Ms. Williams, with Mr. Corios's foundation. Also upcoming in our community, Mount Olive Presents focus on the Family Community Day. This Community Day will be held on September the 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Franklin Sportsman Association. And here are the Community Day. Parents, families, children will receive information on health and wellness. We will provide resources. Also, food and clothes will be provided to the community free of charge. If you're unable to participate, but you have clothes, gently used clothes, they may be uniforms for children. They are also collecting socks for children. And the ministry has also received a lot of clothes for men. There's a need for clothes for men in our community. So we're asking that if people have clothes or know of someone that has maybe a clothes closet that would like to donate for that day, the information is at the bottom of the flyer. Also, the event will culminate with the food pantry distribution, and the food is open to any person in the community, and supplies are limited. So it's first come, first serve for the food, and you would need to register if you're going to participate in the food pantry distribution. There was one other flyer that was sent over on Tuesday. That's coming up Tuesday, August 20th, 7 p.m. and this is the Franklin Vicinities Ministers Conference. And Congressman Bobby Scott, it says, invites all clergy, community leaders, business owners. Congressman Scott will give legislative update. Dinner will be served. This event will be held at the First Baptist Church, Franklin. The host pastor is Marcus Jennings. And this information is provided on the flyer as well. And we want to embrace, we can't, as school board members, can't always attend all events, but we do like to make sure that others are aware, just in case you are available to attend. Our vision here at Franklin City Public Schools, and I'm sure Dr. Sterling embraces that as well, is we want to make sure that we are increasing our community partners. Making the community aware is always good when our families can see us in the community and they see us all the time. Also, I would like to shout out tonight Mr. Darren Parker. I had to make sure I didn't say Travis Parker. That's why I looked at you. Oftentimes our community our principals, teachers, and children are always excited when they see you at the grocery store, their parents. But recently, I believe Mr. Parker spoke at the homegoing service of one of our previous football players. And so I know Mr. Phelps and your team were deeply touched and saddened by all of us who knew the student who was a member of the Franklin City Public School family. And to see the community come together, members of Franklin City Schools who maybe have impacted or touched the life of that family, as well as the student, we want to say thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. You are definitely making a difference in our community, and we embrace that. We want to say thank you for all that you do in the community. Also, it's not under business by school board, but I did see some good news in reference to one of our school division leaders, and that is, I believe, is I got to get her name right, Muhammad. Harris. Right, I didn't want to mess that up. Harris Muhammad. And she's working in her community. We are glad to have her here in Franklin City. But I'm telling you, her community engagement is contagious. I don't know how many of you saw the news, but she was recently featured in the news for that community backpack. And I don't know how many they received, but it was a tremendous event. So we want to say congratulations to her. Would you please congratulate her and let her know that our school board, we value her, what she adds to this division, and we're grateful to have her. Congratulations to her.
Anything else by any other school board members? I only had one small thing. I did attend the luncheon for the new teachers this year, along with Miss Grant Banks. I will get it correct. It was really wonderful, and I just want to say we have only 12 new teachers this year, which is huge.
That is.
So, and we're going to work on getting it even lower next year. So we'll only need a little room for a lunch next year. But no, it was, as always, it was nice. The teachers all seemed very elated to be part of the division. It was a very, very nice luncheon. Anything else by any school board members?
No, Madam Chairman. You want to go ahead and do the motion? We're ready.
Yes. Do we have a motion to return to closed session?
The school board has concluded the business of the open session agenda, but the school board did not finish the business of the closed session agenda and recessed. Therefore, I move that the school board return to the closed session to resume discussion on that agenda.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye, and of course nays have the same opportunity.
Aye.
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 Aye. And aye. So we are back in closed session. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We will come out of closed session once we are done and make any motions necessary after that. Thank you.